Alright, in this video I'm going to go over the top 5 myths about Los Angeles and why they're totally bogus. Okay, well some of them have a little bit of credibility, and I'll talk about that at the end. People say there are no seasons here, there's no heart of LA, it's impossible to find parking, and lastly, that California's next big earthquake will send the state into the ocean. Is it true? Let's talk about it, and let's get after it. Hey, if you're new to this channel, I talk about living in Los Angeles and what it's like to work and play here. I'm also a local realtor here and cover real estate topics. If you're thinking about moving here or you have questions about real estate, please reach out. I get people reaching out all the time asking about Los Angeles, and I love it. Make sure you tap that subscribe button and click that little bell so you're notified every time I do a new video. Okay, let's first talk about the seasons of Los Angeles. And no, I'm not talking about cuffing season. I'm talking about leaves falling in autumn and snow in winter. So most people will say that LA is 75 and sunny all the time. But LA is actually a Mediterranean climate with a desert landscape. So in the winter, it does get into the 40s and it's cold, especially if you're used to 75. There's also a little bit less sun in the winter and in May and in June. You get what's called the May gray and the June gloom, and they're real. So expect some cloudiness in the spring. And it seems like the hottest part of the year is August and September, hence all the wildfires up north. So late summer is fire season, but in the fall, some of the leaves do fall and fall off the trees to give that sense of autumn. And if you're craving snow, you can drive about an hour away and visit Big Bear. Okay, so myth number 2 is that there's no real heart to LA. I would argue that the heart is Hollywood. It's not a great heart, but it's central and everyone knows where it is, and people make references in relation to Hollywood. There's West Hollywood, East Hollywood, North Hollywood, the Hollywood sign. Hollywood is the heart of LA, but it's also pretty trashy, which is unfortunate. There are a lot of main hubs in LA. Like the city, of course, downtown LA. Some people say it feels the most like LA because it's all the cool bars and restaurants. And of course, Santa Monica and Venice are super popular as well. So some people might argue that the beaches are the heart of LA, but in my opinion, I'll still say it's Hollywood. Okay, myth number 3 is that you'll never be on time anywhere and there's no parking anywhere. That is simply not true. Yes, it can take you 90 minutes to get to the east side of the city from the west side, but Google Maps and Waze will tell you that. You can plan for wherever you want to go, you just have to make the time to drive. So take some hands-free phone calls, listen to audiobooks, blast some music, and you'll be there in no time. But seriously, it's just something you get used to. So one thing that's actually been a game changer for me is getting my windows tinted. You see that about half the cars on the road have tints, and it really does make a difference. It blocks some of the sunlight and keeps the car cooler. I used to have to blast my air conditioning driving on the freeways, and now I have it on the first or second setting, and I stay cool. Plus, it's easier to see because it's not sunlight blasting in your face. Just make sure you don't get like really dark tints because you could get pulled over, or you might not be able to see at night. So I got 35s all the way around my car. Reach out to me if you have questions about that. And if you're thinking about moving to LA, be sure to call or text me, and myself and my team would love to help you with your transition. On this same myth, people say there's no parking in LA, and that's not true. People also say that one of the most difficult places to park in LA is Koreatown, and I was able to find parking there almost every time. You just have to accept the fact that you'll be driving around for a few blocks trying to find that spot. So just like the traffic, take that into account. Finding parking may take some extra time. The touristy areas have parking garages with plenty of space. The city wants you to spend money, and they know that you need parking, so it's there. Myth number 4 is that there's no culture or history in LA. LA has a rich history. Just look at Griffith Park for starters. 4,000 acres gifted to the public back in the 1800s. Look at the gold rush. Look at the history of Hollywood and people like Charlie Chaplin and Marilyn Monroe. In addition to that, LA is one of the most diverse cities in the country. You'll be walking around and hear languages from all over the world. There's tons of Latinos coming from the South and a ton of Asians coming from the East, and all those communities have been long established here. Okay, myth number 5 is that people are superficial. You can find superficial people anywhere you go, and unfortunately, LA has that reputation because so many people are trying to break into the entertainment industry and will do anything it takes. I'm going to cite the law of attraction here and say that the energy you put out into the world is the energy you attract. If you're positive and hardworking and genuine, you'll attract those types of people. There's 10 million people in LA, so there's someone for everyone. Just be really intentional about who you spend your time with, and that will go a long way. Okay, one more bonus myth I mentioned at the beginning. There are a lot of earthquakes out here because we're right on the San Andreas fault line, and people talk about the big one all the time, and that it might crack California off the United States and into the ocean, and this is 100% true. So make sure you have a life vest if you're living here. Just kidding. California is planted firmly on Earth's crust and isn't going anywhere. In addition to that, buildings are fitted with support structures designed specifically to be earthquake resistant, so California is ready. So that's a quick overview of the top 5 myths about Los Angeles. More content coming out every week. Please let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're thinking about moving to Los Angeles or you have questions about real estate, please reach out to me here anytime, and me and my team would love to help you out. I'll continue doing lots of videos, so make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when new videos are coming out.